So we're starting a new build now, and this build is actually going to be entirely made from spare parts we had lying around the workshop. So we've got our body here, well, not yet, but this is a piece of poplar, so we're going to be using that for the body. And we have this bass guitar neck lying around that we're going to use, and it's not in too bad condition. We're probably going to refret it. There's a few worn frets on it. We've also got a string tree screw stuck inside, so we may have to remove that, or we may end up painting over the headstock. We haven't decided yet. But other than that, all spare parts we had tuners, we had string trees, we've got the neck bolts, we've got strap buttons, we had a spare pickup, with a brand new bass bridge we haven't used, we've got some controls and an output jack. So that's pretty much all the parts we're going to need. The only thing we don't have is a bass template to form the body on. Well, when I say bass, I mean a P-bass template. But what we do have is, we've got the template from the bass guitar we made for Brenco. So we're going to shape it the same way, just to keep things nice and simple. And we've got plenty of spare spray paint as well, so we're probably aiming for a yellow colour, we think. And that's pretty much everything we're going to need for the build, and we're hoping this will be a quick build, not as many parts as some of our other series. So we're instantly going to get cracking now, and we'll start to shape up the body. So we're going to start off by marking out our body shape, and because we're going to be painting this and because it's poplar, we're not particularly worried about how the grain is going to look or anything like that. So we're just on our centre line, just marking the first half. So we can just draw around this very quickly and crudely. This is just to give us an idea of what the shape will be. And we want our other piece, because it's perfectly symmetrical, can go here. And again, just on our centre line, very roughly, just to give us an idea. So that's our two halves marked out. We're going to cut down the centre here, and then we'll bring these two parts together and glue them, and we'll have our body blank ready to go. So we've just marked out our body shape here, and again on the far side. So what we'll do is we'll slice the wood down the centre here, and then we can swing this piece around here, so this surface will be gluing to this surface, and we'll have a large body blank ready to go. So that's our two halves of the body blank cut, and we're just getting ready now to glue them together. We've already got a factory edge on both sides here, so we should get a nice clean glue up. So we're just going to get all our clamps and stuff ready now, and we'll get this glued together. So just getting ready for a pretty standard glue up. Just going to put some glue on both surfaces, put the pieces down, and then set to clamp everything together. So this should go together relatively quick, hopefully. So just get a nice spread on this glue. Make sure we've got the entire surface covered, and catching any drips as much as we can. So we've got a good amount of glue on both surfaces. So as you said, we'll just flatten down our pieces. and we'll just slide them back and forth slightly, so let the glue start to bite on itself, and then we'll just start to tighten up our clamps, just initially just to hold everything together. And we can just start coming back with our other clamps, and we'll get everything nicely tightened up then. So that's our body blank glued up. And so we've got some pieces on the end to keep things nice and straight, as well as our bar clamps across. So we're going to leave that overnight. We'll come back to it tomorrow, and we'll move on to taking a look at the neck. So moving on to our neck now. As we said, we're going to end up refretting this more than likely. Yeah, no, we will end up refretting it. And a couple of other things we're going to have to do. We're going to reshape the headstock ever so slightly. Not too drastic, we're just going to change some of these angles. And the most important thing is as well, we've got a lovely set of wall tuners here. But the problem is that the holes are far too large for them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to plug up these 4 holes with a large dowel. And then we'll flatten all those off, and we'll re-drill our holes then in the centre for these tuners. So that's going to be the first things we're going to do, is we'll get these holes plugged, and then we'll come back and do the rest of the operations. So we've just cut out some various different size plugs there, just to get this get those holes filled. And so we're just putting some glue on this last one here, and we'll just get that in. And then we're just using some sawdust on that, just to help fill up the edges around it. So you can see we're a reasonably tight fit on the front there, but we've got quite a gap on the back here. So we'll pour in some sawdust and some glue, and we'll get that hole filled. So just with that hole, we're just throwing in some sawdust. Then we'll put on some glue as well, and we'll let that sink down in, and just kind of mix everything up to create like a paste that will fill in that those gaps. So with that done, we'll just wipe off all this excess, and we'll let that let the glue dry, and then we'll come back and we'll smooth out the entire surface.